Hey everybody, today we're going to have a look at how to use Survey123 data that you've collected in the field and then make it into an ArcGIS Online map so that it can go into your assessments. So this is a start to finish example. So obviously my Survey123 data might be different to yours, but the steps still apply. So the first thing that I'm going to do is head over to this little waffle pod right here and go to Survey123. Once I'm in Survey123, I've opened a survey that I have been using in the field. In this case, we're looking at abiotic data at the Port of Brisbane. And so I'm just showcasing a very brief example of what my survey is on. So we were looking at 4 different quadrat areas. We were here at the Port of Brisbane. We were looking at air temperature, wind speed, pH, salinity, typical abiotic factors. And at the bottom, we took a photo of our quadrat. So the way that I would use this is either creating it with an AI, which is how we created this one. And obviously I've done a video on that in a previous example. But once you're happy with your survey, you go ahead and save it and publish it. You can then share it with your students via the Collaborate tab, as I think we all know by now. Making sure that it is opened in the app if you're doing more than one location or you're taking it offline, or open it in a browser if you're making it publicly available. Once you've actually been out in the field and collected the data, Survey123 does a few things. The first thing that it does is creates an analysis for each individual question that was in your survey. So in this case, it's showing me the 4 quadrats that I took in the field. There they are, and it's added a little legend for me down the side. It's created column graphs, bar graphs, pie charts, or maps for each individual question that I took in the field. And at the very bottom here, you can see my in-field photos. The other thing that Survey123 does is it creates a data layer that can be opened in ArcGIS Online. So if I zoom in a little bit further, we can see my 4 quadrats there. And if I was to select one of these figures here, it would actually highlight down the side here where all my data was, the little photo that's connected to it. And what we can do is we can actually open this directly in ArcGIS Online. So we can export the data of any of these files if we want to. The easiest way to do it though is to just go ahead and open it in that map viewer tab right there. Now this is going to automatically update it into ArcGIS Online. You can see this is the ArcGIS Online platform right here. And as I'm zooming in, here are my 4 quadrats. And I can go ahead and rename this layer if I want to, making it a little bit more relevant to my subject. Okay, brilliant. Once I'm happy with it, I can go ahead and go save as. I can give it a title. Save it in whatever folder I'm interested in saving it in. And once that's saved, I can then come out of Survey123 and I can actually head into my ArcGIS Online account. Now from here, if I go over to content, the top of my content should be my new layer that we've just saved. And there it is at the top. You can see that's today's date, that's the time that it is currently, and I just saved that layer. Now it's currently on sharing to owner, which is me. If you would like your students to have access to this layer, you can simply just share it to organization and they'll be able to find the layer like that. If you're wanting to share it with other organizations, maybe the Environmental Education Center, for example, you can put it on public and everybody can have access to it then. You can also keep it on owner and share it to a specific group. So let's say that you have a year 12, field excursion group. You can go ahead and share it to your group as well. Once I've got the layer, I can go ahead and open it in a map viewer. And then we can see my points right there. And from here, it's very, very simply all the styling options that we've done in previous videos. So I can go over to the right-hand side here on styles, and I can choose any of the attributes that I took in the field with my data. So for example, maybe I'm interested in what the pH of this area was. I can choose pH, press add. And as you can see here, it's given me a bit of a color scheme. We can go ahead and have a look at different ideas that we can do. But yeah, it's completely up to you what you want to do with it, really. And from here, you can just go ahead and change the colors. So styling options, you can go ahead and change all the attributes here, such as your styling options, color schemes, whatever it might be that you want to do. So yeah, that's basically how you would do it from start to finish. So if we wanted to add more information from this layer, what I could do is I could go back to my layer, hover over it and go duplicate. And with the copied layer, I could actually, instead of this pH attribute, I could simply choose a different one. Maybe I want to do salinity. And now you can see my data is actually beginning to layer itself on top of the other. And if we have a look at our legend here, we can see what's going on. So it's a really good way of implementing your data that you collected in the field on ArcGIS Online. You can style it however you want. You can add different things, take different things away. From here, you could go into our ArcGIS Online platform of secondary data, and you can search, maybe land use or mangrove habitat or whatever it might be that's relevant to what you're doing. And then you've got a sophisticated map of primary and secondary data that you collected in the field. Once you're happy with everything, you can actually go down the left-hand side here to print. And we've got some options here to print our map. So you can choose a title for it. You can have it different or the same as the map title. You can choose the template style. Do you want it A3, A4, landscape, portrait? It's up to you. Do you want it as a PDF, a JPEG? You can even have it as a GIF, which moves, which is quite a fun feature that we've got now. And if you go to these advanced options, you can set the scale, give the author name, give any copyright information, and include the legend and the north arrow. Once you're all happy with that and you're happy with this selected area, you can go ahead and export that. Now, it's going to do its spinning wheel of death for a second, but once it is created, we can open it in a window and you'll see here we've got a nice map, we've got our title, we've got our actual map, we've got the date, our legend here. Now, obviously, I would spend a lot more time styling this map if it was in real life, and would make it look very, very pretty and different to what it currently looks. And I've got a north arrow here and a scale bar, and you can see my name there at the bottom. So that is, in a nutshell, how you would take Survey123 data, put it into an ArcGIS Online map and style it, and then print it out for your assessments.